truth of my womb, trusting the phases of the moon. Hello and welcome to this week's episode of the Healing Her Story podcast. My name is Riva Jean-Paul. I'm a trauma-informed somatic practitioner, menstrual cycle coach, interdisciplinary artist, and host for your show. Today we are meeting for our weekly cycle sync and check-in. It's this opportunity that we have at the start of each week to align with the natural rhythms and cycles of the natural world. And as we do that, we can also begin to align with the rhythms and cycles of our inner world as well. And when we do this, I believe we are doing so much more than just aligning with phases of the moon and of the menstrual cycle. I believe that we truly are creating more space for the feminine to rise, both within us as individuals and also within our collective. I believe that in our fast-paced and busy patriarchal world that this cyclical wisdom is what we really need to bring more sustainability, more harmony, more compassion, more gentleness, more softness, and just an increased sense of well-being in our world. So thanks so much for tuning in today. Thanks so much for being here. We will get started with our weekly check-in like we always do here with our 1 minute of silence. And in this minute of silence, you are invited to connect with your breath and come into a place of more presence, whatever that looks like for you today, whether you're driving or perhaps doing some tidying up around the home. You are also invited to not only notice where we are in the moon cycle, but also where you are in your cycle. And that's whether you're bleeding or not, whether you're menstruating or not. We all have our own inner rhythm that we are moving through. And so maybe feeling into if you are in more of an inner spring, or maybe more of an inner summer, or perhaps maybe more of an inner fall, or perhaps maybe more of an inner winter. So taking this minute of silence now to do that. And I'm getting our timer set here. And 1 minute will begin now. That concludes our minute of silence. I hope that you found that minute fruitful and helpful. I know for me it's always nice to just have a little pause. We all live such busy and full lives, and we don't always give ourselves those moments to just notice and listen and to give ourselves a little bit of our own care and attention. To share a little bit about my cycle check-in today, I am recording today's episode from Parker, Colorado. I'm here visiting my family and taking some time to slow down and catch my breath after what was the peak of my menstrual cycle last week, or kind of like this week that had just passed. And it was a really full week. I'm working on a really incredible summer project for a summer camp program that I'm very honored and very grateful to be a part of. And I'm also gearing up for a big summer offering that I'll be sharing more about here soon. And I'm also finishing up my spring semester at the local community colleges here where I live in Sacramento, California. And all of these classes were part of the prerequisites for my master's program. So, big moment of completion and culmination and celebration. And I'm now really dropping into my late summer season where I can take a moment to just pause and find some gratitude and appreciation for all of the buds that have bloomed over this past week. And Colorado really is the perfect place for me to do that. So I'm feeling quite rested and full in spite of traveling and having a really full week. I've been able to catch up on my rest, and I've also been really leaning on the resource of Yoga Nidra. And so if you haven't had the chance to listen to last week's episode, we just aired with Jill Weston, the Stress Whisperer. I highly recommend checking that out. It's a really beautiful and powerful practice that really keeps me feeling nourished and rested during these fuller times of life, which you might find supportive this week, depending on how your week will be or how it has been or how it will unfold. As we reach the peak of the cycle again, which is here essentially because we have our full moon happening, I believe on Tuesday this week, Tuesday or Wednesday, and that is the peak of the cycle. And as I've shared before, the full moon and the new moon energies, generally we can kind of feel those energies about 3 days before and about 3 days after. So as this episode is airing, we are about 2 days before the full moon because it's gone Wednesday this week. So you might already be starting to feel the effects of this full moon. And if you haven't yet, then maybe try waiting and see how the rest of the week unfolds for you. And as we reach this peak again, taking this time and again, as we reach the peak of this cycle and we take this time to check in, I'm curious to know if there's anything that is standing out to you right now, or if there's anything in your life that is calling out for more effort, care, or attention. And that's because the full moon is here to illuminate. Like a spotlight in the sky, it shines into the corners we sometimes avoid, offering clarity, contrast, and visibility. If anything in your life is out of balance, this is the week where it might rise to the surface. And if you've been showing up, putting in the effort, being consistent with your practices, this is the week where you might notice a breakthrough, a shift. Maybe you're thinking, damn, life is actually feeling good. I can't believe I made it to this point. If that's you, I invite you, encourage you to celebrate. Because when we let these moments pass by without noticing them or naming them, we miss an opportunity to build confidence and trust in ourselves and in our process. In trauma recovery, we call this resourcing. And it's these moments, these glimmer moments, if you will, that remind us that we are more than the pain. We are more than the trauma. We are more than the things that have happened to us, and that we can experience love and connection and beauty and joy and gratitude and peace. And so when you notice those moments, I encourage you to explore maybe not just thinking about it, but really experiencing it. Slowing down and allowing it to land in your body, noticing how your body responds as you reflect on this. noticing if you feel it in one place, or maybe it's something you notice all over. Maybe it has a texture or a color or a frequency that you can sense. And if you could just stay with that for maybe 1, 2, 3, or maybe even 4 breaths, you can allow all of this to land into the nervous system and into the body. And when we allow these moments to really land in the body and land in the nervous system, our healing and our change can happen organically, in a way when it's not forced, not performed, but truly embodied. Now, maybe you're like, Riva, that's not what I'm experiencing at all this week. And if that's not what you're experiencing, that's okay too. Maybe you're on the other side of the spectrum. Maybe this isn't feeling like a breakthrough week at all. Maybe this week is feeling like a lot. You might feel overwhelmed, anxious, restless, and love, this makes so much sense. Because the light and the energy from the moon is peaking. The pressure is building. And just like the moon affects the tides of the ocean, it affects the tides within us too. Fun fact, studies show that people get 30% less deep sleep around the full moon. So if your anxiety or your insomnia is spiking, please know that you are not broken and that it's common around this time of the cycle. If you find yourself here, I invite you to take this all in as good information. And while it might be uncomfortable and not exactly pleasurable to feel, there's an opportunity for us here too. For me, I know when I get that old nagging tension in my pain in my shoulder, I'm giggling because I'm noticing it a little bit right now. It's letting me know that I'm doing a bit much. Even when it's hard or uncomfortable, I try to take even just a little bit of time to really be with that discomfort. And it reminds me that I do in fact need to slow down. And while that might take me a day or two to get there, I eventually do. And it's always worth it when I do. So wherever you are this week, whether you're blooming or unraveling, I invite you to feel into the fullness. Not with judgment, but with curiosity. Not to fix, but to understand. And if you need support with that this week, I've got you. I've added some trauma-informed somatic meditations to the show notes this week to help you drop into your body and process whatever's here. And I look forward to connecting with you over on Insight Timer, where we can explore these lessons and themes a little bit deeper. I'm wishing you a beautiful week of illumination and culmination and perhaps celebration. And I'll be over here enjoying another week of downtime, laying low for the full moon before I head back into the fullness of my normal day-to-day and of my summer projects. I look forward to connecting with you later this week. This Friday we have a guest episode. Oh my goodness gracious. I've got another powerhouse coming for you, and we're going to be talking about poetry and healing and writing, and I'm just really really excited for this conversation. I'm such a huge fan of this woman, and she has so much to share and so much to offer you. So I look forward to connecting with you on Friday, and in the meantime, I encourage you and invite you to take care of yourself and to take care of each other. For the voice of the womb, clearing the pain from your womb, creating new life from your womb, rebuilding with the phases of the moon.